Agape. The Four Living Ones. Tarifa Andalucia interviews. June 28, 2019. And then came, within linear time, the unspeakable love and the unspeakable truth, piercing the being, the non-being, like the flesh of this body, giving and exchanging the gift of grace in all circumstances. Such is Agape. This is the unspeakable beauty of what is revealed in everyone. This is the celebration of every instant, from the instant you are in this present instant. So laughter and smiling are the attributes of your essence and nature. In the zero time that encompasses every time, every suffering and every joy, putting an end to all separation, division and fragmentation, this is the natural state, that of truth, where no shadow can alter or modify the brightness of the essence of truth, expressing itself in the heart of the heart, but also in each of your senses, in each of your actions. In silence as in movement, the dance of evidence reveals itself every instant and grows every minute, within the illusion of time, where there is no more distance, where there is no more space, and yet all dreams and spaces are included. The gift of grace invites you, on every occasion and in every circumstance, to the intensity of love, which depends on no one, which does not depend on any condition or limit, encompassing every world, like every cell, with the same intensity. This is Agape, gift of grace and gift of life, which needs neither support nor expression. This is the joy, this is the purpose of that which has no end and which has never begun, and which escapes any definition or any dream, and which can only be lived in its entirety. Agape, what you really are, puts an end to the meaning and idea of being a character or a form, belonging to a certain world, or to a certain origin. Life invites you, in your life, whatever it may be, to be the beauty, not dependent on a visual plastics, a word, or a glance, but simply on your availability at the heart of the present moment. In this irrepressible acceptance of life, your truth is revealed, common in everyone, in the same equality, knowing no limits, no framework and no definition, where everything is given and where everything is given, in abundance and profusion. Agape within you, agape outside you, where you grasp that there is neither outside nor inside, and where there is the permanent miracle of the same thing, which cannot be defined, which cannot be enclosed, which cannot be idealized. Because Agape is simplicity, and also obvious. Evidence of life, putting an end to the dream, putting an end to any lack, as well as to any questioning. In the heart of the heart, as in the heart of each cell of this perishable body, is inscribed the same truth. Where silence fills space and time much more than forms and much more than words. Agape. Trembling and vibration of joy, but also great silence, where everything that has emerged, where everything that has appeared at one time or another, within the consciousness, meets in the one thing, meets in the ultimate dance, where everything is joy, where everything is lightness. Then, the igneous fire is a bonfire, which ignites and consumes every idea and every suffering, so that freedom can no longer experience the slightest hindrance, the slightest opposition, or the slightest confrontation, where the top and the bottom, the inside and the outside, come together in this same dance, at this very instant of the eternal present, where the simulacrum and the sacred are but dances of illusion and the ephemeral, where everything is one and the one is in everything, where everything is resolved, because everything has already been resolved, has already been lived, and is finally embraced, accepted and lived. Such is the gift of life, such is the gift of Agape. Because Agape is the only name, is the only word/verb that has never been extinguished, even within the deepest dream, even within division, as well as separation, where nothing can be fragmented, removed, counted or even decounted, where the breath and rhythm become identical in every heart that hears it, in every heart that accepts it, ignoring all circumstances, crossing all conditions. Now you're Agape, where the dream, even the most seductive, can only pass away, can only vanish, in the majesty of love, where it does not need to be translated by any feeling or attachment, by any bond or union whatsoever. Because in Agape, everything is one and everything is unified. At the heart of the truth, all worlds are seen as a dream that passes, accompanied by consciousness, by that desire to test oneself, and to find oneself. Whereas never, despite the circumstances, have you ever been able to lose yourself or get lost, but simply believe that you must find yourself outside what you are, outside of anyone else, participating in the same dream and the same challenge, that of embracing yourself, without putting restrictions, without imposing any conditions. Agape invites you to restore yourself, before any history, before any form, but from a past that cannot be dated and that is neither past nor future, but simply in the instant that the intelligence of the light reveals to you. Where the heart and truth take all your inner space, like all the external resonances, where your person can only bow and honor so much grace and so much peace, so much joy and so much certainty. Such is what you are, beyond being and non-being, crossing all flesh, crossing all heart, awakening it in itself, an instant that never ends, because always present and dependent neither on yesterday nor tomorrow, but simply on your presence. Silence. Listen, beyond the meaning of my words, and hear, beyond all understanding, the joy of the freedom that sings around your head and is lived in each of the cells of this body. You, the Son of Man, you, the hero who recognizes himself or who ignores him, the hero of Agape, the hero of truth. Silence. Listen and hear also, in the space of my words, what this silence says to your heart and to your eternity. Where each child and each flesh is only the flesh of your own flesh, without needing alienation, heredity or genes, without needing conventions, roles or functions. Thus is the unspeakable beauty of the love that is lived, without any condition. Where your story and your person cannot survive in front of so much intensity, in front of so much lucidity. Silence. Listen and hear the rhythm of your heart. Listen and hear the action of resonance in the heart of each person. There is your only certainty, where nothing can be missing, where nothing can be questioned, where you recognize yourself, beyond the creature, creator of yourself, creator of every world, creator of every dream and every manifestation. It is lived in your life when it becomes life. Let yourself be consumed, because in this you will never again be thirsty, in this you will be whole and complete. Where you don't need to measure, where you don't need to separate, because everything is one, because everything is you. In the child who is starving to death, as in the being of light who is approaching you, and who is you, you are from everywhere, at the same time as you are nowhere. Silence. Listen and hear the resonance of your heart in the heart of Agape. He doesn't need words, he doesn't need images, he doesn't need a future, he just needs you. And this need is also obvious and certain that nothing can ever shake again, that can never be hidden. You are certainly the way, the truth and the life, but you are anterior to the way and the truth, and to the life itself. You are at the origin of life, as at the origin of your life, and you are the completion and the crowning. Let me take you to the heart of your heart. Let yourself be, let yourself life, by that gift of grace, by the smile of truth. You thought you were separated, you thought you were divided, you thought you were amputated. But it was a game you created yourself, where there is no responsibility, no guilt, no authority. Because you're the one who authorized it and gave it to you. Surrender to the truth and the truth will find you. Because it is inscribed forever, from the origin of consciousness, as well as from the origin of the manifestation. Only this truth, because it is absolute, can never flow or be missed. Then, Agape dances in your heart as in every heart, as between every heart, in this instant. This is Agape's gift, this is the gift of your truth, where nothing can belong to you, because everything is already you, because it could not be otherwise or differently. Then, the radiance of your sacred fire ignites every heart that is crossed or met. It passes through your eyes, it passes through your hands, it passes through your words, through your smile and through your silence. Because everything is only a pretext and an opportunity to live the truth, to live the unspeakable. You cannot oppose yourself, no matter what you think, no matter what you believe. You can only embrace yourself, in what you are at this instant. Whatever your appearances, whatever the ups and downs of your life, they only contribute to the immutability of your presence and absence, radiating from your flesh, in this world as in any world. Because there is no distance and in truth, time and space do not count, because they belong to the dream and to what is happening. So, yes, in the beauty of the present moment, your heart speaks the language of silence and the silent language of Agape. Silence. Listen and hear the dance of your heart, set yourself on fire with the igneous fire of truth, be enlightened and regenerated, by that gift of grace that you can only give yourself and give to yourself, thus giving it to each one, without making any distinction, without making any difference, because the difference belongs to the appearance, to the time that passes by and to the space that separates. You cannot be separated from who you really are. You've never been able to get away from it. Whatever the sufferings and hazards of your life, remember what is not yesterday, remember what is not tomorrow, but what is present in the eternal instant of your present. Listen and hear the chorus of angels singing in your head. It is the song of your heart, which your heart carries with it in the last illusions that your head creates. You are this and you that. And that is essential. You can only embrace yourself as you embrace each other, in this space as in any space. Let yourself be loved without being disturbed or even embarrassed by the intensity of this unspeakable love which is not of any world and which is nevertheless in each cell of each world as in each dream. Silence. And as my words get spaced out, the space disappears. Silence. In the rhythm of Agape's words, the ineffable is written. Your true name, if you still want to name yourself, is joy, and your first name is peace. There are no other names, no matter how your shape looks, no matter what your conscience tells you, no matter what your experience tells you. Because it is in silence that you reveal yourself, fully and fully. Because it is in this silence that white paradise appears, where all the elements of the dream dissolve at the same time. Where you are, I am. Where I am, you are. There is no other place at the heart of the truth. Be available as I am. Be truthful and authentic. It is not an effort, it is not an acquisition, but a simple restitution to yourself. Silence. Listen and hear my plea without words, and you'll understand the evidence of it, and you'll live the certainty of it. No dream or world can take it over and understand it, but simply embrace it, simply live it. Silence. Listen to the silence of the truth. Silence. So that this instant never dies and cannot be forgotten or even set aside. Silence. There can be no lack, there can be no hesitation, in what my silence tells you. Silence. Every heart is your heart, every life is your life. It is not a weight to carry, but a lightness to regain. It is your due, it is your gift. Silence. Let yourself be alive, in Agape. Silence. Listen and hear. The oath and promise have been revealed. Then you wake up from the dream of consciousness, from the dream of lack and suffering. Silence. And there, in this peace, in this magnified silence, what more can you or do you want to think about? What do you want to imagine or dream that is more beautiful and more intense than that? Silence. This is the truth of the fusion of being and non-being through your flesh as well as all flesh. Silence. Love you are, love you dwell. Everything else is gone, everything else is a burden. Agape is lightweight. Such is the instant of the present, such is the instant of my silences and my words, to which your silence responds. Where no more words needed. Silence. This is happening now. Recognize yourself. Accept yourself. There is nothing to judge, because not everything that passes is true, and Agape will never be a judgment, but forgiveness and the gift of permanent and incessant grace. Silence. You loved yourself, you love yourself, and you will love yourself, without measuring anything, without restraining anything, because it is your nature and your essence, and because it is the first and ultimate manifestation. This was the game of consciousness, and you are not only that consciousness, but any consciousness, on any scale whatsoever, and in any dimension of the dream. Silence. It is now time to close my words. They are engraved in letters of fire in the heart of your heart. Silence. Greetings, Eba. Greetings, Agape. Silence. And you will be able to find yourself in every moment, in these words and these pronounced silences, simply with your hands that will come to be placed on each side of your body. For this illusory body is the perfect resonator of who you really are, and it is given to you. Silence. I greet you and I love you as I know that you love me, because we have the same love, because we have the same truth. So be true and be authentic, and then you are complete, and then you are whole. Silence. Agape, 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 hina heteba. Silence. Everything is perfect and everything is perfection, as soon as you leave the gaze of ignorance, the fragmented gaze, the gaze of form, to keep only the gaze beyond any form, where you see yourself, in truth. Silence. Go in peace, in the heart of yourself, and go in peace where life takes you. Everything is perfect. because agape is perfection. Silence. I greet you. Silence. A town's mark high, premise kaya. Through Jean-Luc AYOUN. Les Transformations. English translation. LMF.